Good morning, you guys. What better time than to go over scripture? This morning I'm going to hit on Psalms 27 in the KJV. I'm going to do 10. When my father and mother forsake me, then the Lord will take me up. And 11. Teach me thy way, O Lord, and lead me in the plain path because of my enemies. When my father and mother forsake me, then the Lord will take me up. Teach me thy way, O Lord, and lead me in the plain path because of my enemies. A lot of chosen ones. And this is not the only book I'm reading. I'm in the King James Version, Holy Bible. And then I'm reading, I never even read books by Black authors, African American authors, but I'm reading Street Players. Back it up for you. Street Players by Donald Goins. And I'm on page 49 in Nelwyn. And I like all his books. I just got through reading Black Girl Lost last week. It didn't take me but maybe 2 to 3 days to read it. It depends on how busy I am. And now I'm on Street Players by Donald Goins. And this is like my first time reading books by Black authors, African American authors, and I kind of like it. And the second book I'm reading is The Kid by Sapphire. I read Push, which is based off of the movie Precious. I read Push last week also with Donald Goins, Street Players. And so this week I'm on Donald Goins. No, last week I read Donald Goins' Black Girl Lost. And I read Push by Sapphire. Okay, and I got done with both of those books last week, and now this week I'm on The Kid by Sapphire, which is after Precious dies. This is the book about her son, like the struggles that her son went through without her being alive. So I'm on page 159 in The Kid by Sapphire, and I'm on page 49 of Street Players by Donald Goins. And this will be the second week I've been reading books by African American authors, and I like it. Anyway, the scripture that I just read, though my mother and father forsake me, the Lord will be with me. A lot of chosen ones, like once they become adults, a lot of chosen ones have something in common. They've had bad childhoods. And then once they come adults, the things that they didn't face, the things that they hid from their childhoods to move on in life just to get by, resurface once they become adults. And so you have a lot of chosen ones, chosen people that are like, they're having the struggles with being persecuted, hated by the world, and then they're having the struggles of dealing with the things from the past that happened in their childhood. And a lot of them have the question why. And that's a question that therapists just don't seem to know the answer to. It would take a person that is chosen just like you to give you a why. A person that has been through childhood trauma and advanced and made it through to let you see or give you a reason why. And if a person is not spiritual, it's no way that they could understand this spiritual warfare that we are going through right now with our past and now our future, being persecuted as an adult and first being abused and neglected and rejected as a child. And so they can't tell you why because it's spiritual. Like, it's not a battle of flesh and blood, but of principalities. Like, whenever you have parents that abuse children, it's no reason why. Because it's spiritual. Because what can a child do to you to make you hurt them? Being a child and they don't know what they're doing in the first place. And that's why you have to go to scripture. And a lot of chosen ones have their parents and people around them, even school teachers and children at school, rejecting and bullying them while they are facing abuse at home. And it's spiritual. What's going on is, whenever you have a biological mother or father or even a step parent abusing a child, you have to ask yourself, what was in my parent? What was inside of my parent's heart, body, mind, and spirit and soul? For their spirits to interact with a person like this, interact with a step parent like this, what was in them where they came to agreement and married and became one? They shared something. They shared something within each other that matched, which is their spirit. So therefore, you have two people. You might have one parent seeing the abuse and turning a blind eye to it because of the love and the spiritual match and the soul tie that they have with that person that's abusing you. Or you might even have parents joining in with step parents to abuse you. And the reason why they're doing it is because they're all on the same demonic time frequency. They spirits match. They join. They come together. They shake hands. They are in agreement with each other. Therefore, your feelings or what you're going through, they cannot fathom, because their spirit is on one half of the grid and your spirit is on a total different spiritual place than theirs. And that's why God takes up the cases and causes for chosen ones. People that can't get revenge, because revenge is not of God. And so he takes up your case because he knows it's spiritual. He knows that it's nothing you've done for people to hate you. Even in adulthood, he knows that your walk is blameless. So he takes up your cases for you. But it's spiritual. It's nothing that you've done to these people. It's just their spirits are on the same demonic time. Therefore, they can turn a blind eye to the abuse that's happening to you. They can see it happen and turn the other way like it's not happening, because your spirit is not aligned with them or the person that's abusing you, but theirs match. That's like you have birds of a feather flock together. Like you're worshiping God and they're worshiping Satan. And even if you haven't confessed that he existed with your mouth, your actions, your existence exudes him. And therefore they see that inner light inside of you. And a parent can mean you well and actually have some love in their heart for you. But you all spirit, it doesn't mix. It mixes with the person that's abusing you. Or they may even join in and abuse you because of the soul tie they have with that person. But yours, you are separated from the womb. Therefore, mostly everybody you come in contact with will hate you. Very few will love or like you. And blood is not exempt. Just because a person is the same blood, the same DNA as you, does not mean anything. It's spiritual. Their spirits have to agree with what's inside of you, the God that's in you, to make them follow through. Many people will say his name, and many people will say he exists, and many people will get down on their knees and pray and say, Lord, Lord, Lord. But if that heart, if that soul and that spirit is not aligned with him and his true people that he called his chosen ones, if you are against his chosen ones, you are against him, because they represent him. They are disciples of him. Therefore, if you hate his chosen ones, you hate him. So they hated you. They didn't love you enough to stop the abuse. They didn't love you enough to conquer it and face it and remove it away from their life. They love that person with the same spirit and demonic time that they are on. They love that person more than you. So they let that person abuse you. They couldn't understand you, and they never will understand you. And they may try to love you, but they can't love you because it's already written that they were going to forsake you, and they did forsake you. It has. You did nothing. It's not. It has nothing to do with the way you look. Some chosen ones feel like they didn't come out beautiful enough, and their parents hated them. It has nothing to do with looks. It has nothing to do with the way you talk. The way you walk is strictly inside battles, spiritual battles, the battles that we are going through now on earth. That's why they hate you. That's why no matter how hard they try, they can't give you the love that you need. It's best that you just move on, go on with your life. First, you have to face the fact that you was abused. Pull it from the back of the spirit where you have it hidden, and face that this did happen to me, but it ended up happening for me because I know it when I see it again, and I can help other people. I know that personality when I see that personality again. So I can turn the other way, go the other way, away from that personality. And it never has to enter my life again. I know the signs so I can help other people that's been abused just like me. I know it when I see it. Therefore, I can avoid it, and it won't happen to me, or it won't happen to my child. If it has already happened to you, you have to face it. You know it when you see it, you can identify it. And if you have children, it won't happen to your children because you know it when you see it, you know the signs. And you also have gained discernment from the abuse so you can help others throughout your life. Like, this is really not the time to self-loathe and pity. It's not the time to self-loathe and pity. You know, like, why did this happen to me? This is not the time to cry. This is not the time. Like, this is a spiritual war going on out here, and it is not the time. What you do is you reflect. You reflect on detail to detail of the abuse that happened to you. You have to reflect on it. You have to go back and look at it. And you have to say, I'm not moving forward with this. I pulled this out of the bag. I reflected on it. I'm not moving forward to this. This cuts off here. It cuts off here. Therefore, I don't want nothing in my life that reminds me of that. I don't want none of the people that played a part in my abuse, whether it be physical, sexually, emotional, spiritual, mental. I don't want none of the people that were involved in that abuse, because if you couldn't be in agreement with my spirit at a young age, at 8 years old, it's no way in hell that you can be in agreement with my spirit at 41. Because at 8 years old, I was innocent. So it's no way in hell that you can be in agreement with me now. And I have sin, and I know what sin is, and I know what you are. Anybody that has hurt a child, it's nothing that they can do to come back into your life as an adult, because you were innocent then and you were blameless. So if a person hurt a person that has not done anything, what place do these people have in your life? And you have done things now. When they hurt the innocent, what you do is you take all of them that had anything to do with that abuse, no matter what kind of abuse it was, and you take them and you forgive them first. You forgive them. You faced it head on. You looked at it and you say, I forgive you. I forgive you for turning a blind eye. I forgive you for starving me. I forgive you for sexually abusing me. I forgive you for hating me for absolutely nothing. I forgive you from taking things that I loved away from me in my face. I forgive you for tearing me down. I forgive you for not loving me and showing me love. I forgive you for rejecting me. I forgive you for neglecting me. I forgive you. And you have to believe it in your heart, and you have to get on your knees and you have to pray for these people that done this to you. You have to call them by name on your knees and pray and ask God to forgive them. But you have to forgive them first. And you have to call their names. You have to love them enough to want to see them do good, even though they did you wrong and they hurt you, and some of you were starved, and some of you were beaten, and some of you were used and abused and sexually abused. You have to love them enough to get on your knees and pray and ask that God does good for them. That's true forgiveness. To say they hurt me and they did me wrong, but I don't wish them no well. I don't wish them no bad doing, no bad life. They did what they did to me, but they can't be a part of my life. Because if you let them back into your life, they only gonna be triggers, and they coming back to do worse because they hurt you when you were innocent. So when they come back, they gonna do worse. They coming back to finish you off. It's nothing they can do. It's nothing they can do for you when they hurt you when you were absolutely innocent. Some of you couldn't even talk and was hurt. So you have to forgive them and love them, but cut them away because they are triggers and they will never get it right. It's in them. They spirits are at one. They are in agreement with everything that they done to you. Even if it's just turning a blind eye, they were in agreement with it. They did nothing to help you. They actually love each other because they can identify what's on the inside of each other and be in agreement with it, no matter what it is. So they love each other. It's a love they will never, ever be able to give you. And so you have to cut them off and you have to move on. You identify that you were hurt. You forgive them and love them anyway, but you cut them out of your life. And the reason I'm telling you this is because once your father and your mother have absolutely rejected you and neglected you, God takes you up. They are not God. He makes miracles happen. He is the reason you are breathing. So they had their chance and they messed up their chance. And they didn't care enough to come back and start over the right way. They finish you off. I don't want chosen ones to be 41 and realizing I should have cut them off. I don't want chosen ones to be 25 or 35 and realize, why did I let them stick around so long and they destroyed my life? Why didn't I cut them off? I don't want chosen ones to be a day over 16 and look back going into adulthood and said, they terrorized my life. Why didn't I cut them out? Why so long? The scriptures will tell you the signs and what to do about people that spirits are not in agreement with you. Like the Bible is made to conquer these kind of problems. And that's why I read Psalms 27:10. That's why I read that. Though my father and my mother forsake me, the Lord will be with me. Because a lot of you feel like you cannot make it without this toxic group of people because they are blood. And they have this saying, blood is thicker than water, and you feel like I cannot make it, I can't live, I can't breathe without this toxic group of people. Anybody in my life is better than nobody at all, and that is a lie. Like, that's not the truth. Because you will look back, if you keep these toxic people in your life, you will look back on your life and your life will be almost coming to an end. If you keep this toxic circle in your life just because they are blood. Anything that you try to do, first they will hit your childhood and do you horrible. Then they'll come into your teenage years and do you horrible. And then they'll follow you into your adulthood and finish you off. They are a stumbling block. Anything that you try to do and they see it. Anything that's good. Whether it be starting your own business, whether it be starting your own fashion line, whether it be working, self-employment, anything, even dressing nice, anything you do, they will see it and they will either copy it or tear it down. They will either copy you in your face, so they further taking your identity. They already took your childhood and your teenage years, and now they stripping you. They will either copy you, and if they can't copy you, if they still not winning, they gonna tear it completely down. Every last one of them will do this. If they can't copy you and succeed at it and look like you, they gonna tear it down. And this can go as long as you keep them in your life. This can go on and on and on and on. Chosen ones they have empathy. Therefore, they can relate to what's going on in the next man's shoes. That's why you have so many chosen ones keeping their blood. People that's doing them completely wrong, keeping them there in their life. Because they can feel pain from other people and know what the next man is going through. But you have to remove them, and you have to remove them now. You have to cut them off and cut ties with them, because they will never, if they hurt you when you were innocent, they will never want to see you succeed. And they will copy you in your face. And even if it look crazy on them, they will copy you. And if they can't copy you, they're gonna tear you down. They want every aspect of you, every aspect of the spirit that they hate. And it's sad. It's like, how can you hate me but wanna be like me? Or how can you hate me and why you just won't let me go? Okay, you hate me and you done let me know you hate me. Let me go. Let me be free. They would rather keep you around to tear you down. Let them go. Face what happened to you in your childhood. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself because you feel like you let it happen, or you allowed it to happen, or you didn't tell no one. Forgive yourself. Forgive them. Love them. Get on your knees and pray for good for them, even when they done you wrong, but cut them off. And God, I don't care if you don't have a friend in this world. I don't care if you don't have a relative in this world. God is here. God is near you. He loves the fatherless. He has a special love for the fatherless, and he has a special love for those that don't have a mother or family. He has a special love for the loners, because in this fight, in this spiritual warfare, a lot of you are going to end up alone with not one friend. And people may call you square, because chosen ones don't look like everybody else. They don't dress like everybody else. They don't walk or talk like everybody else. And most chosen ones have 0 friends. And in this life, you may become a loner. It may get to the point, the way this world is going, that you may not have but 0 friends. 0. And you have to be strong enough to deal with that. That's why you have to face your past and say to this morning, I'm going to live today. I'm going to live today. That happened to me back then in the 80s. My teenage years was bad. I got bullied in school. I got abused at home and neglected at home and bullied in school. But today I choose to live. I choose to forgive and live. I love you all. Thank you all for listening. I hope this video helped you. I hope it touched at least one. If it touched at least one, I've done my job. And so I hope that you like the video. I hope that you comment, and I hope that you subscribe. And most of all, I hope that you slay today. You all have a wonderful Sunday.